I came across this particular post, and shout out to Kid Gravity because that's the only way I figured out about it. But I've heard this name before, or at least I've seen it in passing, but I just kind of glossed right over it. But for some reason, this post right here stopped me dead in my tracks. Again, y'all better watch the movie Disturbing Behavior. I know it sounds like I'm endorsing it, but I'm really not. Like, you really need to watch that movie because it explains this down to a T. But anyway, you have this person whose name, or at least he goes by the name of Zeek Arkham. I'm highly doubt that is his actual name, especially that last name, considering we know Arkham is from Arkham Asylum from Batman. And based on a lot of the posts that he makes, he might need to be fitted for a straitjacket and thrown in Arkham along with the Rogues Gallery of Batman. So he put this post up on January 18, 2024. And we're going to go line by line by this. And he already screwed up in like the first couple of lines. He said, in my little neighbor circle, I'm the only black dude. And he's very proud of that too, by the way. He is very proud to be the speck of pepper in the sea of salt. He says, when their daughters are having my daughter over for a play date, they don't see color. Now notice how he's going out of his way to not even call them white. He's calling them they. Again, he's using the pronoun thing that, you know, a lot of them claim they don't like. He says, when we're barbecuing in the summer, notice he said barbecuing, he didn't say cookout, because how many black people you know say barbecuing? We say cookout, but again, he's the only black dude there. We don't see color. When our wives are all having brunch, they don't see color. When the dads are all gathered around outside the dance studio for our daughters because we all refuse to go in, we don't see color. Again, who is this we? When we're going to the range, we don't see color. If left alone, most people simply see you as a friend and neighbor. They're not thinking about your color unless it's pertinent to the conversation. Don't let the race baiters keep racism alive. Let me tell you where he slipped up. In the very first sentence, he says, in my little neighbor circle, I'm the only black dude. Now he's claiming he doesn't see color, but he took time to make sure that he's the only black dude in his neighbor circle, and even went as far as to capitalize it. Now, if y'all remember in the live stream that I did, where you had the people who was upset with Delta because they decided to capitalize the word black and lowercase the word white to acknowledge, you know, black people, look at what he did right there. He lets you know he's black, but at the same time, I don't see color. I'm saying I as in him, because he's not representing the we here at all. He's really not. And he put that up there to really galvanize around his PC audience and let them know, hey, I'm one of the good ones. And if you look at his page, if you look at the barrage of tweets that he puts out there, if you did not know this was a black man, you would swear up and down that he was PC. Outside of this tweet where he acknowledges that he's black. And he's proud to be the only black dude in his neighbor circle, which means he went out of his way to be around them. I'm willing to bet he has that same Uncle Ruckus story all the rest of them have, that gets tired and played out. And of course, they'll welcome him with open arms, but as long as he doesn't get out of line. It's very cringe and it's very pathetic. Now, here is an exchange between himself and Tariq back in May of last year. Tariq said, Zeke, why do you try so hard to hide your Caribbean background? Are you ashamed of your people? To which Zeke responded with, I don't, Tariq. One set of my great grandparents are from the Caribbean, the Dominican Republic, and St. Martin. I have family there presently. I'm also still not oppressed, and neither are you. Neither are the overwhelming majority of black folks in this country. Now, what's interesting is that he's acknowledging that he has Dominican roots and people from St. Martin, but he made sure to have that American flag in his bio. He did not have the Dominican flag there. He did not have the St. Martin flag there either. And if you look on his page, nowhere does he really acknowledge his Caribbean roots at no whatsoever, as Tariq pointed out so eloquently when he responded to another post from him. So to me, it screams that he is hiding those roots, or maybe he's not accepted there. And if you needed a glimpse into his bio, this is what it is, and this is the background right here. Of course, he has that Blue Lives Matter flag, and I'm gonna blow up his picture in a minute so you can see that as well. He says the notorious CWA, pronouns bruh/brother, host of Reasonable Suspicion podcast, conservatarian, hashtag back the blue, hashtag all lives matter. And like I said, they shift a lot of support to individuals like this, because look at the followers, amount of followers he has, and you can pretty much gauge who that base actually is, demographic wise. So here's a more enlarged imagery of his profile picture. As you can see, he has a picture of Trump on there with the mugshot, and it says legend on there. He literally has a shrine to back the blue all over his room. Like you can see the board right there at the top. He has some Funko Pops. He has the boards with all these medals and pins painted out with the back the blue thing, and all this, that, and the third. And it looks like that might be his office of some sort. And here's another post right here. Again, this is just very performative posting by him. I'm not going to go through every single post, but just know that if you go to his page, that's literally, you're going to see posts like this all the time. He's going to constantly combat against other black people to try to say why systemic racism isn't here, or why isn't in this, why isn't it that, and all this type of stuff in the third, when people are trying to correct him and tell him about themselves. I told people going into 2024, do not go back and forth and combat with these people. Do not go back and argue and forth arguing with them, whether it's PC or their pets, like this dude right here. He says, then please educate me, how is it a problem in 2023? He's responding to someone talking about systemic dub-s. Where is the systemic racism taking place in 2023, where there is a legitimate system designed to hold down and oppress black folks? What rights don't we have? Mayo wants you to see color because of experience. Now, this is in response to Gerard Mayo. Now, remember I did the video about him when Charlie Kirk had said something pertaining to what he said. Y'all saw the video, you know what I'm talking about. This is what this is coming from. So he's faced individual racism and now wants to hold it up like some sort of badge. Nah, I experienced it and move on. And see, there it is right there. He says, that lets you know that he's acknowledging that he's dealt with it, while simultaneously trying to say that it doesn't exist. Like, two things cannot be true. But see, he said, I dealt with it on an individual level, but everyone's not dealing with it. I got a question for the Zeek character. If systemic so-called oppression isn't real, then why is there so many PC out here trying to say that that it's an anti-white thing going on here? Remember, in my live stream, I talked about how they got upset because they lowercase the word white but uppercase the words black and brown. Or you have PC out there who are them folks mad because they're not included in the Oscars lineup or whatever it is that they were complaining about, or why they feel like they're not being represented more in the military, which is why the numbers of white men are dwindling as far as recruitment numbers for the US military. Notice he doesn't say anything about that, because he knows the second he does it, they're gonna check him. He is stuck. He's another one of those Candace Owens fake-em types that is stuck in that bubble and he cannot climb out of it. So he has to perform. This is performative right here. What you saw throughout this whole video from him, everything that he posted is performative. And I'm telling you, y'all already saw 3 posts. The one that we initially went over, the one in which he responded to Tariq last year, and now this. Any more will probably make you want to gouge your eyes out, because literally that's literally all he does all day on his page. And the thing is, the rest of them are the same. They are the exact same. Going back to what I posted on my community tab, who's worse, the grifter or their supporters? Truth be told, they're both terrible. Because you have the person like this who's the grifter, who has to continuously pander to them, and then they eat it up. But the thing is, while Zeek is out here saying don't see color and we don't see color, clearly he does, because he made sure to acknowledge that he was black in that initial post. But guess what? They see it too. They just don't want you to see it, because how else will Dub S stand tall? How is it going to stand up and be the structure that it is if you don't see it? They need you not to see it, but they can see it clear as day, and have been seeing it for so long, and even still to this day. You mean to tell me, with all the stuff that happened last year, especially with Ryan Palmer down in Florida, you telling me they didn't see color? Are you kidding me? He definitely did. He saw 3 black people that he murdered. You telling me Peyton Gendry didn't see color when he took out those 10 black people in that store? He definitely did. He even wrote a manifesto describing it. Dylan Roof, he knew what he was doing when he went in that church. He went to a historically black church and did what he did. He didn't go to a predominantly PC church. He didn't go to a synagogue to do what he did. So to sit up there and say, oh, we don't see color, or we're moved past this, that's BS. But that's fine, because I believe in what Kid Gravity said in saying that this year 2024, November 5th, the grift will be over. And I can't wait for all of them to just crumble like a Jenga tower. That is going to be a glorious day and a very glorious event.